Hey, Green Purse Society. Today, I want to talk about inspired action and how we access it. Because I've been having these wonderful experiences where I drop in and I meditate and I get all into my expansive divine self and I'm just in the flow. Any worries, concerns, anxieties, frustrations, and irritations from the day just drop away. And then I'm in this like, oh, this is the truth of me. And it feels really, really good. And then what happens is that various goals, intentions, and efforts that I have in my life start popping up, and ideas and inspiration about those things start popping up. And then because I'm in the expansive, everything is possible kind of space, I want to jump up and start doing it. And then, so I write it down, whether or not I stay in the meditation. Sometimes I stay in the meditation and finish it. Sometimes it's so all-consuming and motivating that I got to stop and start writing. So I write, and empty myself out. That's all great up to there. I'm sure most of us have had this experience. Then what happens next is the issue where I look back at it when I'm not in the expansive state, and then I start thinking about in order to execute this, I have to do this and I have to do that, and I need to know this and I don't know how to do that, and I have to figure that out, and that's too much effort, and that's all this work, and blah, 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 blah. And then I start doing that and basically picking apart the kernel of inspiration that I received. And sometimes in the process of doing that, that means that then I've come up with a plan of execution and I just start working my way through that list of things. More frequently, what happens when I don't execute on things, or why I don't execute on things, is that list, when I start picking apart that kernel of inspiration, that glowing little beautiful kernel that felt so possible in the meditation, when I start picking it apart and breaking it down into all of its pieces, then it feels too overwhelming for me to do it. Or I realize that I appreciated feeling the inspiration about it and I don't care to do it. And then it doesn't happen, which is fine for things that I don't care to do. We have a certain amount of time, a certain amount of days, certain amount of hours and energy and blah, blah, blah. So we have to prioritize, anything that we're doing, we have to prioritize. And we have our responsibilities and our agreements that we've already made with the people around us in our lives and the world. And so we have to keep those, or we have to renegotiate on those. But in order to build momentum, and momentum is my word for this year, healthy, inspired momentum. In order to build momentum, we can't pick apart the kernel of inspiration to the point that like there's nothing left of it and we can't do anything on it. It defeats us. We're defeating ourselves before we even have the opportunity to put it out in the world and have somebody else talk shit about it. So let's not do that anymore. We get the inspiration. There's action to take. Just start taking action. I have found on numerous occasions that when I just trick myself and jump in the middle, when I don't know what I don't know, my mother calls it intelligent ignorance. She was talking about somebody else, but when I told her about it, she was like, that's what that is. Intelligent ignorance, you don't know what you don't know. You just know you want to do something, and so you just start doing it. And you do it until you hit a roadblock, and then you got to figure something out, or you have to learn, or maybe, you take a pause for a moment, learn a little bit more and come back to it. There's a lot of different ways to approach it other than just not doing stuff. We get stuck in our lives because we stop seeing the possibilities of our inspirations and our dreams and our desires. We stop seeing the inspiration. We stop trying the inspiration if we ever even did it in the first place. Some of us are coming out of childhood already feeling like beat down, can't do anything, can't try anything, can't experiment. And that's unfortunate. That requires healing. But a big part of adulthood is this like transition from I can do everything, I am invincible, I can try it all, into this like, oh, I have to be realistic because there's bills to pay and I want to live indoors and I want to have nice things and blah, 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 whatever else. Let's not do that. Let's have a year of intelligent ignorance where we just go for it and try things, inspired things, and see what arises. So I've seen a lot of things where people are like, oh, I spent a year saying yes to opportunities. And I love those. I've done them and stuff can happen very fast. It can be a lot of fun. But if you make a parameter where, oh, I'm just saying yes to whatever comes to me, all kinds of things are going to come. And then you're saying yes and you're trying to execute on all of those things. Let's spend a year saying yes to what arises from within us, taking action on what arises within us, saying yes to that and moving forward on that. Let's not spend the year telling ourselves, oh, we can't do that and we can't do that and we don't have time and energy for that. Let's say yes to the things we really most want. I already talked about this. I'm going to keep on talking about it because it's very easy when you're coming off the holidays and you've gotten some sleep and some rest and some downtime to come into the year with fresh new inspiration. It's harder to sustain it and maintain it, especially if you don't know where you're headed and where you want to be by the end of the year. So I'm really deeply, strongly, fervently, intensely feeling this need to have our guiding star of our dreams, our hopes, our goals, our wishes, our desires, our wants, and dropping in to that spacious openness, that place where we connect with the truth of who we are, where everything is possible. And then receiving inspiration and guidance from there and taking action on it. With faith, that's what leaps of faith are. With faith and with a drive and a determination and a willingness to do the work. And also recognizing that we're going to learn a lot about ourselves, and we may need to pause, we may need to meander or, make our way around. But that it feels so much better to go to bed at the end of a day spent doing that than the end of another day spent slogging through a to-do list that doesn't inspire you and doesn't feed you or nourish you. If you even have a to-do list, if you're just like going from thing to thing, request to request, people calling your name, demands, orders, whatever. Inspired action this year. It's 2020. Numbers are doing things. There's all kinds of like all the planets being direct for extended periods of time, motivation and things moving us like towards what we want. We need to ride these waves when they come. My computer battery is about to die, so I'm going to stop here. But yes, let's get on it. Let's do it. Yes. Feel it. I'm out.